The bridge of the Zephyrian dreadnought. Crimson Talon erupted in mocking laughter as the massive viewscreen displayed the human vessel approaching their formation. Admiral Kextar's four eyes narrowed with amusement, his chitinous exoskeleton clicking as he shifted in his command throne. "That pathetic thing is supposed to be humanity's finest warship," he hissed, his voice carrying the authority of 1,000 conquered worlds. "The Defiance looks like a cargo hauler compared to our fleet." Indeed, the human ship appeared almost comically small against the backdrop of the Zephyrian armada, where their vessels bristled with plasma cannons, missile pods, and energy shields that shimmered like deadly auroras. The Defiance seemed almost plain. Its hull was dark gray, unmarked by the elaborate war paint that decorated proper warships. No visible weapons, no intimidating spikes or aggressive angles. Just smooth utilitarian curves that spoke of human engineering's peculiar obsession with efficiency over aesthetics. Commander Lisa Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching the alien fleet with calm, calculating eyes. Her crew of 50 worked with quiet precision around her, their faces betraying none of the tension that filled the void between the two forces. The communication array crackled to life, broadcasting Admiral Kextar's taunts across all frequencies. "Humans!" The alien commander's voice boomed through the speakers. "Your species has been judged inferior by the Galactic Supremacy Council. Surrender now and your deaths will be swift. Resist, and we will make examples of your worlds for the next 1,000 cycles." Lisa's fingers drummed once against her command chair's armrest, the only sign of her building anticipation. "Communications, open a channel." "Channel open, Commander." "Admiral Kextar," Lisa's voice cut through space with steel-edged courtesy. "This is Commander Lisa Rodriguez of the Earth Defense Force vessel Defiance. I'm afraid we must decline your generous offer. Humanity doesn't surrender." The laughter that erupted from the Zephyrian fleet was audible even across the vacuum, transmitted through their jeering communications. Kextar's voice dripped with condescension. "Brave words from such a tiny ship. Your vessel couldn't penetrate the shields of our smallest escort, let alone threaten our dreadnoughts. We have 40 ships to your one, each carrying enough firepower to crack a moon." 43 ships, actually," Lisa corrected mildly, causing a moment of surprised silence. "And you're right. We probably couldn't crack your shields with conventional weapons. Fortunately, we don't use conventional weapons." On the alien flagship, Tactical Officer Vexy studied his readings with growing confusion. "Admiral, I'm detecting massive energy signatures from the human vessel, but I cannot identify the weapon systems. The energy is contained somehow." "Compressed." Kextar waved a dismissive claw. "Human tricks and deception. Ready all weapons. Let us show these upstarts what real power looks like." Lisa nodded to her weapons officer, a steady-eyed woman named Sarah Kim. "Sarah, is the quantum resonance cannon charged?" 100% charge, Commander. Target. Lock acquired on the flagship. Fire when ready." The Defiance didn't flash or thunder. There was no dramatic buildup of visible energy, no charging whine of conventional plasma weapons. Instead, a section of the ship's hull simply opened, revealing a device that seemed to bend space around itself. For exactly 0.3 seconds, reality appeared to hiccup. The effect on the Zephyrian flagship was immediate and catastrophic. The Crimson Talon, all 2 kilometers of heavily armored dreadnought, simply ceased to exist at the quantum level. The ship didn't explode. Explosions required matter. Instead, the vessel's atomic structure forgot how to maintain coherence, and 30,000 tons of the galaxy's most advanced warship quietly dissolved into its component particles, which then drifted apart like glittering dust. The silence that followed was profound. "What?" Kextar's voice crackled over the comm, now broadcasting from one of the escort vessels. "What did you do to my ship?" Lisa's response was delivered with the same calm professionalism she might use to report weather conditions. "Quantum resonance cannon. It convinces matter that it would rather exist as individual atoms than maintain molecular bonds. Side effects include complete structural dissolution and a rather pretty light show." The remaining 42 ships of the Zephyrian fleet hung motionless in space, their crews struggling to process what they had witnessed. On their sensor screens, where the mighty Crimson Talon had dominated the tactical display moments before, there was now only empty space and trace amounts of free-floating particles. Impossible, Admiral Kextar whispered from his new flagship. No weapon can simply delete matter. Physics doesn't work that way. Human physics apparently do, Lisa replied. We have a saying on Earth, Admiral. If brute force isn't working, you're not using enough of it. We just prefer our force to be precisely applied rather than wastefully distributed. The tactical officer aboard the new Zephyrian flagship was frantically running calculations. Admiral, if they can do that to our heaviest shielding and armor, our entire fleet is defenseless. Commander Rodriguez's voice cut through their panic with businesslike efficiency. Admiral, you now have 42 ships. Would you like to see how quickly we can make that number smaller? Our cannon recycles every 30 seconds. The alien fleet began to scatter, their formation dissolving as individual captains prioritized survival over military discipline. But Lisa wasn't finished with her demonstration. Or perhaps, she continued conversationally, you'd prefer to see what happens when we adjust the resonance frequency. Sarah, target that asteroid cluster at bearing 27 Mark IV. Dispersion. Pattern 7. The Defiance fired again. This time, the effects spread in a controlled wave and an entire field of space debris, chunks of rock and ice, some as large as skyscrapers, quietly dissolved into cosmic dust across a volume of space 3 cubic kilometers in size. As you can see, Lisa explained to the stunned alien fleet, we can adjust for both precision and area effect. The choice of application is entirely up to you. Admiral Kextar's voice, when it finally came, was barely a whisper. How is this possible? Your species has only been spacefaring for centuries, not millennia. That's exactly why it's possible, Lisa replied. We don't have thousands of years of, that's how it's always been done, holding back our innovation. When humans encounter a problem, we solve it. When we encounter a bigger problem, we build bigger solutions. And when 43 hostile alien warships threaten our homeworld, she let the implication hang in the space between them. The Zephyrian fleet was already beginning its retreat, ships peeling away from the formation and engaging their faster-than-light drives. Within minutes, only a handful of vessels remained, their crews apparently too shocked to move. This isn't over, human, Admiral Kextar transmitted as his ship prepared to jump. The Supremacy Council will hear of this. Please do tell them, Lisa replied with a smile in her voice. And Admiral, make sure you mention that this is just one ship, we have others. The last of the alien vessels vanished into hyperspace, leaving the Defiance alone among the slowly dispersing particles that had once been their mighty flagship. Lisa settled back in her command chair and allowed herself a small smile of satisfaction. Communications, send a message to Earth Command. Mission accomplished. Enemy fleet dispersed with minimal ammunition expenditure, returning to patrol route. As the Defiance turned toward home, Lisa reflected on the day's events. Throughout the galaxy, alien species built their weapons to be bigger, louder, more intimidating. They competed to see who could mount the most guns, generate the most destructive energy, create the most fear. Humanity had taken a different approach. They had simply asked the universe very nicely if matter might consider not being matter anymore. The universe, as it turned out, was surprisingly accommodating.